on Wednesday, 26th of July 2023 at the 2023 General Election Review meeting conducted by the Nigeria Union of Journalists put together by INEC at its headquarters in Abuja.
President of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, NUJ, President and Council members of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, media executives and heads of various media organizations, editors and senior journalists, National Commissioners INEC, Secretary to the Commission and other senior officials, members of the INEC Press Corps, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to this meeting in continuation of the Commission's review of the 2023 general election. This is the sixth meeting in the series of meetings held by the Commission in the last 3 weeks to review the election. The Commission will continue to welcome suggestions that will improve the future conduct of elections and the electoral process in Nigeria. There is a long-standing partnership between the Commission and the media, which we appreciate. And I must also say that I'm really pleased, and all of us in the Commission, by the large turnout of media organizations in all your varieties, from television to radio to print to online. We profoundly appreciate this continuing partnership. You remain one of our critical stakeholders, and beyond voter and civic education, we regularly consult you ahead of the formulation of policies or the implementation of activities. Media organizations are also accredited to cover elections and electoral activities. I want to emphasize this, to cover elections and electoral activities. When we do CVR or the expansion of voter access to polling units, these are electoral activities. And when Nigerians go to the polls in a general election, by-election or by-election, you are also accredited to cover these activities. But beyond reporting our activities, we are also convinced that as citizens, you should be part of the discussion for the overall improvement of our electoral process based on your field observations. I want to underscore this point. Today, we are not holding a media briefing or press conference. We are meeting with media executives to tell us what they observed in the field during the last election. Because before you are media executives, before we are election managers, we are above all citizens of Nigeria. And so there must have been things you saw in the field, and you would have asked yourself, how I wish I can meet INEC to tell them. And it is through this kind of interaction, and only through this kind of interaction, that will continue to improve on the electoral process in the country. There are many positive aspects of the 2023 general election. At the same time, the Commission admits that there were challenges. The Commission is aware that aspects of the election are being litigated at the various election petition tribunals. While we are careful not to touch on issues that are clearly sub judice, it is appropriate to review the election broadly as enumerated on the agenda for this meeting, and the copies of the agenda are contained in your folders. If you don't have the folder or you don't have a copy of the agenda and minutes of the last meeting, please let us know. More specifically, and from your practical experience of reporting or analyzing the election, we would like to hear your observations and suggestions on the processes and procedure for, number one, accreditation of media organizations. 2, access for journalists to voting and collation locations on election day. 3, conduct of pre-election activities by the Commission, like voter registration, voter access to polling units, and many more. 4, logistics for the movement of personnel and materials. 5, the Commission's method of recruiting and training of ad hoc staff. 6, conduct of regular and ad hoc staff during elections. 7, security during elections. 8, the role of technology in voter accreditation and result management. And 9, any other suggestion that will improve the conduct of future elections. It is therefore our expectation that you will share your field experiences candidly. We would like to hear from you what the Commission can do to improve future elections in Nigeria. At the same time, the Commission would like to share with you our plans for pending by-elections and preparations for the off-cycle governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states, already scheduled to hold on Saturday, the 11th of November, 2023. So on this note, let me say it is my pleasure to once again welcome you all to this meeting.
The President of the Union, Comrade Chris Izuguzo, MFR, in the course of giving his remark, focused on the 4 key areas that have shaped the electoral process, which is accreditation of media organizations and personnel, coverage of election by mainstream, social, and online media, public enlightenment and voter education, access to media, reportage, hate speech, and fake news.
Today in this meeting, our focus lies on 4 key areas that have shaped the electoral process. 1, accreditation of media organizations and personnel. The pivotal role of the media in the electoral process cannot be overemphasized. Our task of reporting information with accuracy and impartiality is only possible when media organizations and personnel are accredited efficiently. This is therefore a platform for us to use to assess the accreditation process during the 2023 elections and also explore ways to enhance its effectiveness. By streamlining this process, we can ensure that qualified journalists have unhindered access to cover election events, fostering trust and credibility in our reporting. Coverage of election by mainstream, social, and online media. In an era dominated by technology, the dissemination of information has transcended traditional boundaries. The 2023 elections witnessed an unprecedented convergence of mainstream, social, and online media in shaping public opinion. As we reflect on our media coverage during this election, let us recognize the power we hold in influencing perspectives and narratives. We must critically analyze the impact of our reporting, ensuring that it remains fair, balanced, and free from any undue influence. Striking this balance is essential for fostering an informed and engaged citizenry. Public enlightenment and voter education. An enlightened and educated electorate is the backbone of any thriving democracy. Our commitment to public enlightenment and voter education remains unwavering. During the 2023 elections, we undertook the noble responsibility of educating citizens on their rights, the electoral process, and the candidates vying for various offices. Let us therefore take this opportunity to evaluate the effectiveness of our voter education initiatives and strategize on innovative approaches to reach a broader audience. By empowering citizens with knowledge, we strengthen the foundation of our democracy.